Welcome to the family with
Officer Dave.
And Andy Brant Bernard.
and Josh Arnold.
He'll make his grand entrance at some point.
Exactly. Grand entrance. That's exactly what's going to be. That's exactly what's going to be. So what's new in the world?
Well,
Anything good?
We have a caller, and hopefully he does not want to talk to Josh yet.
Well, we can put him back on if that's the event.
What do you think? Are you here for Josh?
Talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, I can wait.
Oh, you are on for Josh. Okay, he's...
No, if I need to. I mean, I don't have any questions. No offense to Josh, but I kind of find that financial stuff boring. But that's just me.
Me too. Me too.
Oh,
I mean, nothing against him. He's like the nicest guy, and he knows his stuff. But I don't deal in the stock. I can hardly handle my own finances. Getting into the stock market stuff is way over my head.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
that's
understand
just me,
that.
though.
So what's the new in
But,
your?
maybe I should listen more.
Yeah, anyway,
educated.
whatever. So what's going on
Yeah.
in the world?
Well, Tommy, I just wanted to say real quick again, love the show.
Thank
Love
you.
the family show, especially. You guys are great. I wanted to, well, I'm not going to start with it, but I would say I got a couple stupid jokes for you if you got a minute.
We love jokes.
But the first thing I wanted to say, and just get your opinion on it, because I agree with you and I don't. You've been saying a lot recently about with the impeachments and the suing and all the political turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying all the time, like, I told you this happened back when they went after Clinton.
Right.
If they do this, it's never going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand the political craziness about it, but isn't it a good thing that we go after people if they're doing stuff that's illegal?
Yeah, if they go
Like,
after them all, yes, I would agree with you.
yeah.
If they go after
Oh.
everybody, I couldn't agree more.
But they're not going after everybody, I suppose.
No, they're not. There's a lot of people are taking a slide. It's just it's
Right,
unfortunate.
It depends on who's in power, though. Who's swiping at who, right? It's
Yeah, that's
whose
true.
ox is being gored.
That's a good way to
You
put
know, and that's all it is, you know. And I was just going to say real quickly, and then I'll get to the really stupid jokes.
it.
I
Okay.
read this tweet by Stephen King, who's wildly liberal.
Yeah, he is.
I still read his books and whatever.
Mhm.
But he posted something. He goes, people are far left wing and far right wing, but if we have no wings, we can't fly.
Oh God, really?
And what I had to say was, well, there's two wings, but if there's nothing in the middle, how the hell does it you get anywhere?
Yeah.
You know, you gotta have it. You gotta have a strong center to connect the wings, right?
Love it. I love that take. That's a great take.
Thank you. And that's my problem is that it's mostly the media, but also the government, right?
Mhm.
Their whole point is divide us, keep us fighting against each other, so we're not realizing how badly they're screwing us, and we don't come after them. We fight after each other, right?
Yeah, well, I mean that's exactly what they want to do. You guys keep fighting one another, and we'll take all the money and
Yep,
get all
and
the
run to
votes.
the bank.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
exactly right.
Yeah. So I go on and on, but I know you got Adam Carolla coming up, who I'm looking forward to.
That'd be good. Josh Arnold
But,
just got here, so that's good. You have any financial?
All right,
he had-
don't tell him anything I just said. No. Tom always says- Tom
Is
always
this
says,
some
you know,
government?
"Oh,
This
here's
is some
Josh
government
Arnold."
plant. That's it.
a government
No,
plant.
nothing like that. No, you could teach me a lot because I'm completely irresponsible with money. You know, I just started a new job at this Bongards Cheese, if you know where that is.
Oh yeah, sure.
Food
Yeah,
is good there.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
yeah.
What,
I
I love their
shop.
cheese.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great, and I love it. It's the best job.
What are you
Ever had in my
doing there?
life.
You working in the retail section?
No, I actually work overnight in the plant as a master sanitation specialist.
Ooh,
So
I
basically,
like that.
I keep everything clean
There you
for the
go.
most part, you know. So, yeah, but it's been, again, I'm getting like more money than I've ever made. So I will start listening to you more, Josh, because I need to do something with my money than just put it in a hole, you know.
Well,
I
there are a
know I
lot
need
of
to make
people
money
that do
work for me,
dig
but-
holes in the backyard, and they
Yeah.
plant
Yep.
they plant gold coins or old $100 bills, and then they forget that they're
God.
there, or they move out. I mean, you saw the thing about this big battlefield. Somebody found all these gold coins buried in an old Civil War battlefield.
Really?
Oh, no kidding.
Guy probably
Yeah, I
had him in
heard
his
that.
pocket when he croaked, and that was
That was Well, we don't know, but I would say that if you're starting a new job, I'm guessing Bungard offers a 401k.
I was just going to say, yep, I started my 401k. I just put in my first contribution last week. So
I would just say
That's
max out your 401k contribution. Take a look at the most aggressive investment option, which in all likelihood is going to be the S&P index fund.
Mm-hmm.
Do not put your money in a target date fund, because that's going to be
I don't
heavily.
even know what that is.
Okay. Well, okay. It says if they give you several different options. This one, the target date funds typically are a default option, making a presumption that, let's say that you're 50 years old and you're going to retire in 15 years. So the target date fund would be 2039.
Right.
Okay. And the fund would invest in a series of mutual funds, some that are invested in stocks, the balance that are invested in bonds. And as you get older, there's more invested in bonds for quote unquote safety and for yield. But I have found that if interest rates tend to move up, bond values go down. If interest rates drop, bond values move up. And those people that have been putting money into bonds over the past several years have lost a lot of money, as opposed to those people who've even put money into an index fund, an S&P index funds, which will hold companies like Microsoft, my favorite, Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google, Meta, and then several industrial companies, all in different proportions to their valuation. Investing in a S&P index fund should, over time, even with all the ups and downs, give you a much better return than putting money into a target date fund. And that, my friend, is how you can accumulate a lot of money. Sort of like my new grandson. His nickname is, well, his name is J. Arnold Doe, but he's also known as Alada.
A lot of dough.
A lot of
A
dough.
lot of dough. Very nice.
So
Okay.
just for you, just put that money into that 401k, max it out. So if you can put in 15% of your income into that every month, that'll be to your benefit, and you probably even decrease your tax withholding, so you can put in the max and still have reasonable take home.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the advice, Josh.
There you
I
go.
was just gonna say too. This is the first job I've ever been a part of a union, and I just started in there, and they were voting on a new contract like a week after I got there. So I'm in on this one, and just out of nowhere, I couldn't believe it. You know who the name of our union lead guy is? And this is no joke. Lyndon B. Johnson. I
OBJ's
couldn't
back.
believe it. I couldn't. I just was like, what? But
Well, don't let him take you to war. That's all
Yeah.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
that's just what I was gonna say. Yeah, but
I mean, he thought that he was Douglas MacArthur.
right. Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the other thing. If they came back with war bonds, I'd buy them all the time because America's at war all the time now. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be fancy? But anyways, that's probably good for now. Let me kick off my couple of lame jokes and let you guys get to it if that's all right with you, Tom.
Absolutely. And you know what? I love people calling into this show. So thank you for calling in the first place.
No, it's all right, man. Like I said, hey, man, long time caller, first time listener.
Hey, it works for me, Valley. All right.
Yeah,
Joke
man.
time.
Yeah, sure. All right. I got three, okay, if that's all right.
That's
and they're all
fine.
short and they're pretty stupid. All right. First one. Why did the monkey fall out of the tree?
Why?
Because he was dead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That had
Okay,
happened.
here we go. But bum.
That's the
Okay.
anti-humor. It's in
All
right now.
All right.
Yes.
The next one's a knock-knock joke, but it's three parts, okay?
Who's there?
These are ones that my parents been telling me since I was little. Okay. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Ether.
Ether?
Yes, ether, like the chemical.
Ether.
Ether
Ether who?
Ether Bunny. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Samoa.
Samoa. Samoa who?
Samoa Ether Bunny.
No.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Consumption.
Ooh, consumption who?
Consumption be done about all these Ether Bunnies?
Thank you very much.
All right, very stupid. And this last one, Tom, I used to have back in like 2000. I told this on the morning show, and you laughed for like 5 minutes. I used to have it on a tape just because I loved hearing it. But I'll tell it again, and it's okay. All right. Why don't lesbians ever wear makeup? Oh, wait, sorry. I haven't told this in a long time. Why don't lesbians ever go on a diet or eat? Why don't lesbians ever go on a diet?
You're
or wear
laughing
makeup?
already here.
I know. Let's do one more check. All right.
Okay,
Clear
here
it
we
out.
go.
All right.
Here we go.
Why don't lesbians ever wear makeup or go on a diet?
Why, sir?
Because it's hard to eat Jenny Craig when you got Mary Kay on your face.
Boy, look at the time.
And I remember you. I always remember, Tom. You go. I guarantee that joke will be told at Duluth in the park.
And I was
like
right.
20 years ago, man. But
Well,
been listening to you forever. I appreciate you guys listening to my nonsense, Josh. I appreciate the advice. And I already talked to Andy about it. Just glad to hear he's healthy, and you guys are. I just love hearing your family, guys. I love the family show.
wonderful.
And yep, used to always listen to podcasts, but now that I get off at 6, maybe I'll call in more often. But keep up the good work, you guys, and keep up the honesty, Tom. I just love it, man. I love your take on politics and people meeting in the middle. There's not enough of that, so I appreciate it, man. Keep preaching it, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for all your time today.
Hey, man, thanks for all the entertainment over 30 years. I appreciate it. You guys all take care. Love you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're
Matt-
welcome. Bye.
Because he just called in, we're going to have to put another. We used to have it on. It was invented on the KQ Morning Show years ago. It was called the Jokophone.
The joke of the day. I remember the
Joke
joke of the day. I
They
remember
call
that.
in on the Jokophone and tell their jokes. He told what? He said, I got a couple jokes. They were like 7.
Well, I mean, one was a 3-parter.
It
So
was a 3-parter. That's true. But I love it when our listeners call in. I've always loved listeners calling in. I love to have guests on the show. I mean, to me, that's a really important part of the show is
Mhm.
the outside people. But you know how nice that is to hear somebody calling and go, man, I'm still running into a lot of people that have no idea the show's on. So I got to keep getting out in the street,
Yep.
getting the word out there. No
Press the
question.
flesh, pound the pavement. Let's go.
Got to do something.
We'll
But
put
no,
a sign out. Put you out as a sandwich board.
Yeah, there you
oh,
go.
sandwich board, that'd be good. How about the airplane with the trailer behind it?
Oh, we like that too.
Yeah.
Trailer flag. They do that in Florida all the time.
Used to do that in Atlantic City.
Oh,
Love that.
yeah.
And,
Oh,
and in
yeah.
Florida along the beach.
Yep, always along the beach. That's exactly right. But so yes, if the Jokophone, what's the Jokophone number, Andy?
952-600-2575.
2575. We'll get the Jokophone back. We'll get. I still am trying to talk last minute and coming on doing the chucker once in a while.
Oh, that'd be so.
But he's got her up there in St. Cloud. He's working in St. Cloud.
Is he
so
doing the morning show up there?
I believe so.
Oh, so yeah, that'd be kind of difficult.
Be very difficult.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that some people loved him and some people just hated him.
Oh,
Just-
he was brilliant.
I thought he was great. Absolutely.
Oh man.
No
And you are.
And you are. You're going with all that Ryman Simon stuff. God, that was funny. That was great. That just made me put me in a very good mood talking about the Jokophone and calling in jokes. I love that stuff. Love it. Right?
Man.
Right.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
So what else is going on in the world, Josh? What else you got?
Not going to be not going to be lowering interest rates.
No.
Not going to be raising interest rates either. The Fed this week met 2 days of meetings back and forth, worried about inflation that's still too high. Inflation is still too high. And I'm looking at the figures and I'm saying, I don't know whether inflation right now is still too high, but unless you're talking about house prices are still too high,
Mhm.
and house prices and rents compromise or comprise, not compromise, comprise 35% of the CPI index, and the CPI index came out this week, and it did show things were getting a little better, with the exception of housing, which increased year over year 5.4%. Everything else went down. I'd say, well, that was pretty good, and that those numbers came out right before the Fed came out to speak, or Jay Powell came out to speak in his conference call to announce no change in interest rates. But we had been thinking about cutting interest rates. This was a few months ago, up to 3 times this year.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. We might cut once.
Maybe once.
We're still worried. Inflation is still too high. Now, if you do talk to anybody in the current administration, they would say, no, the economy is great. Inflation is under control. Yes, more people are working and they're being paid more money. Don't worry about a thing. But, and here's I always give this nice but. Have you been? Well, if I've been to a restaurant, I go to restaurants for lunch every day, and I've noticed that the costs keep going up just a little bit.
Yep.
Just a little bit, and the stuff that goes up is those little things. My iced tea, depending on the restaurant. In the last couple of years, the cost of my iced tea has gone from $2.75 to $4.25.
Oh God!
Now,
Wow.
I do drink a lot of iced tea, so I do get my money's worth for that four and a quarter.
Right.
But I didn't know that the cost of water had actually gone up, or the price of delivering tea bags has gone up.
The cost of water. I love that.
So that has gone up. And if I go to the grocery store, the Frosted Flakes keep going up.
Unbelievable.
And there's less in the box. There's less in the box of Frosted Flakes. Now, the SO, she has complaints because the cost of her candy. She is a candy an inhaler of,
well, you could never
candy
tell because she's very trim.
Well, she walks a lot. We've got the 2 big dogs, and she's always taking them out. She's got two young grandkids that she's always chasing about.
You'd never know she had any grandkids by looking at her, though.
Well, I'll have to tell her that.
Well, she looks a hell of a lot younger than a grandmother.
Looks a hell of a lot younger than you do, Josh. Come on.
Well, she is younger than I am.
Yeah, so that might be why.
She is much younger than I am.
I pointed that out last night to Catherine because we were watching Murdoch Mysteries, which is a great show, and blah, blah. This guy starts crying because his wife died and all the rest of it. I said, God, that's the one great thing I did. I married a woman 8 years younger than me, so you have to watch me be put in the ground. I don't have to watch you. She goes, oh, yeah, great, thanks.
Yeah, it's not nice to see your wife be put in the ground.
Yeah,
and
you went through that.
I went through that little over seven years ago, and this past week her brother passed away down in Florida.
Yeah.
So in her family there is no one left other than cousins.
Really?
Mm.
God,
And
isn't that amazing?
yeah, and I'm in that of the remaining cousins. I think there are only a couple that are younger than I am.
Wow.
So
of all the cousins, even
of all the cousins. So there were a lot of first cousins in that family.
Mhm. Was she
Because
Catholic?
I think her father was Orthodox Jewish, so there were eight
okay.
children. My father-in-law was the second youngest of the 8, and they were spread out. My wife's grandfather had 3 wives.
Oh, really? You mean
Yeah,
all at the
2
same time?
all at the same time.
Man.
See, you're going to start converting. Forget this Catholicism. We're going to become Orthodox Jews. We have to have all these wives.
One is enough. I don't need any more. No.
Oh,
One's
Just
plenty.
one?
Just one wife is plenty.
so how's it
One
work?
at a time. That's
no,
it.
just one.
Okay.
Just one ever.
How are the Jews doing today? Any new attacks I should know about?
Any new attack?
Jesus, I just still can't believe it. I just cannot
I'm
believe.
sorry for laughing.
in
Any
this
new
country.
attacks?
Oh,
How
God.
about the University of Minnesota hires an anti-Semite
What?
to
See,
run the
oh,
Center for Holocaust Studies?
Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding
oh
you.
my
An
God.
anti-Semite to run the study
Yeah.
of Holocaust. Oh.
Yeah, and there are all of these. I'll say the Jewish Community Relations Council has organized a letter writing campaign to get this overturned.
Mhm.
Meantime, there are over 200 liberal professors from the university are saying, nope, this is the guy that has to run the Center for Holocaust
Why?
Studies at the University of Minnesota. A noted anti-Semite is
What?
running that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. We have to be fair and balanced.
By hiring a hateful person.
That's it.
To
That oh God. Okay.
So that's where your tax dollars at work
Oh,
over
my
at the University of Minnesota.
That place is a total shithole. isn't it? I mean, it
I'm
really
like-
is.
it's circling the drain. I would give.
God.
I mean, how do you do that?
I don't know. That's insane.
I mean, it's just something I found out this past week. Take a look at, and I've gotten letters from the Center for the American Experiment,
Mhm.
talking about this. I've gotten letters from the Jewish Community Relations Council talking about this, and even some of our more liberal friends saying, "What, WTF at the University of Minnesota? How do you do this?"
Well,
I
can you
don't
blame
know.
them? I will.
No, I mean, I just do not understand.
No.
I mean, that's, and then you have over the, across another. Oh, this was one in New York City. There was a memorial put up for the victims of October 7th, the Israeli victims,
Hmm.
and protests arose in front of this, and the leaders of this protest published the names of this. I think this was done in Brooklyn, so it was a Brooklyn museum. Published the names of the people on the board of directors and the museum director, and their homes were attacked
Oh,
by
Jesus.
this crowd, and they painted, the symbol that Hamas uses and Palestine Liberation uses, an upside down red triangle. Post that on their door to point out all the Jews are, so that they can be attacked
Targeted. Oh
and
my.
targeted. This was in Brooklyn, New York. Of course, a big center. Well, New York City have to have all the super liberals that go out and support terrorist organizations. And what is even funnier, and this I say, is some of the leaders of these protests are members of Queers for Palestine,
Mhm.
Queers for Hamas.
And I don't understand that either. Do they realize they'd be killed if they lived in Palestine?
No, they have no idea
No,
they'd be killed.
they live in a
have
fantasy
no,
world.
How do they not know they'd be in severe danger?
because they're morons.
Mhm.
They
They
are
really are
literally
that
just
stupid, huh?
morons.
As I said, most of these people that are protesting this are dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah, they are
Yep.
incredibly stupid.
But they're getting money from someplace.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at all these encampments, and it's not just at all the elite schools, you can go to campuses at the University of California, which are not necessarily, I mean, they're state schools, and you see all these brand new tents in these encampments. Not, it's just not somebody putting up a bed sheet, hung on a string, and staked into the ground. These are
The fancy tents.
the fancy dancy tents.
You know what I'd like
Uh,
to see happen? I would like to sit down with all of them and show them a map of the world, and you show me where Palestine is on this map.
Yeah, good luck.
No chance. I'll give you a hint. The words Africa and Saudi Arabia have something to do with their location. Okay. In a way.
Mm-hmm.
It just, they don't know what they're talking about, when they're talking about it. They don't realize how many corpses have been dug out of the ground of Jews that were killed during the Holocaust. They don't think the Holocaust ever happened. Well, I don't know where all that stuff that still stands came from then.
Yeah, exactly.
People are really that stupid.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, look, here's my view of the world. And I love this because you talked about being Catholic and Jewish. One of the great jokes of all time. This is going to be a great joke. You're going to love it because we start with two Jews. No, I'll do it the other way because it's better the other way. Two Irishmen walk out of a bar.
Oh, you're looking around. Is anybody Irish? That's it. Nobody's Irish in this room.
Nope.
So two Irishmen walk out of a
That's
bar.
the joke right there, is that they'd walk out of the bar.
Well, that's
Why
the
would they
point.
leave a bar? They're Irish.
But
Oh.
then you look at the other side. Two Irishmen walk out of a bar. Then two Jews walk into a bar and buy it. I've loved that joke since I was a little kid because I grew up around Catholics and Jews and black people.
Mhm.
It's a great joke.
You're stereotyping people. How
I'm
can you do that?
stereotyping. No,
I mean, that's like Super Dave seeing a red Corvette driving down the road at 30 miles an hour, puts on the flashers, pulls him over. Well, why'd you pull me over? Well, you have a red Corvette. You had to be going past the speed limit.
That's just a given.
I'm too young to drive a Corvette. They're all older guys.
Yeah, well, that's true. You wouldn't fit in a Corvette anyway.
Probably not.
No,
But boy,
but-
they look cool.
they are a good looking
Yep.
car, no question about that. But I just thought of something. I've not even thought about this looking back at my career, my childhood, and all the rest of it. Can you imagine the reaction to this anti-Israel, anti-Jew thing to Sid Hartman?
Oh,
Sid would have gone berserk. Oh my God. I loved Sid Hartman. His son Chad and I are still really good friends. But imagine Sid, anti-Semitism. He faced it as a child. I mean, died at 100 years old, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yep.
But I can't even imagine Sid's reaction to this bullshit. He would be losing his mind. No question about it. Don't you think?
I
Oh, yeah.
think so.
I just, like I said, show me where it is on the map, and then maybe you can start thinking about that.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, but
Well, one of the
Well-
things that I witnessed yesterday, and it's not a negative thing at all, it's just how the world is. When I was a kid, I look back at, there was a great comedian. There was a nice Jewish boy named Park Yakarkas. That was his name. He was a great comedian, Park Yakarkas. But looking at that, the world from those eyes is a different deal. I went and did an appearance at the Livia meeting yesterday. There was about 15 new employees, something like that. And at the very end, I said, I do a little research to the people I've just talked to. How many people here are around 35 years old? And 4 of the 15 put their hands up. And I said, okay, here's my question. Who's Rodney Dangerfield? And all 4 of them said, we've never heard of him.
oh
I
my
said,
gosh.
have you seen the movie Caddyshack? Yeah. Well, that's Rodney Dangerfield. But it's not their, Andy, you would probably understand this. You being 38. I mean, because you've been around your dad so much. But they're very focused on their items, and nobody, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Well, I think it's a bad thing, but not just on them. Nobody looks back in history anymore to see how we got where we are now.
This is true.
They just don't do that anymore. They had no idea who Rodney Dangerfield
Yep.
was. That's always a question I ask, because I know you know who he is. You just don't know his name.
Yep. No, when I teach driver's ed, we have a section on aggressive driving.
Oh, God.
And so I like to tell the story about when the guy got out and Kent Herbeck.
Oh, that was a mistake.
And these kids have no idea who Kent Herbeck is.
No, they don't. They don't know who Kent
No
Herbeck
clue
is.
whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
Never
true.
heard of him. Never. He won 2 World Series with the Minnesota Twins, guys. Do a little research. Thank you.
Been all over television,
Yep.
radio, the whole thing is entire
Here
life.
it is. I get, speaking of Ken Herbeck, and I'm not a hero worshiper, but the last Twins game I went to, entertaining clients at a suite, which I do
Mhm.
several times during the course of the year. Get in the elevator to go up to the suite level at Target
So you're a
Field.
big shot. I sit in the bleachers.
Yeah,
That's
there
fine.
you
I've
go.
sat in the bleachers. I like it. I
on his
like
way
it
up
there.
to the suite.
But go up to the suite. I get in the elevator, and I'm as you know, I'm just a little guy, and a guy comes in with a good-looking girl, and he kind of turns and backs in, and I'm just seeing him from the back. I said, "Son of a bitch, that's Kent Herbeck."
Yeah.
And sure enough, he gets out at the suite level, and he's walking along with this girl, going to the Kent Herbeck suite.
Yo, the Kent Herbeck suite, absolutely.
there might be an adult beverage or two consumed in that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But he is,
Possibility.
and I had several people from my suite, clients of mine, not knowing who Kent Herbeck is, came out, and saw me walking past us, said, "Who is that guy?" I said, "I think that's Kent Herbeck. Why don't you go get his autograph?" "That's Kent Herbeck?" I said, "Here, I'll go up to him. I'll give him a baseball cap, and then you'll be able to know who it is."
There you go.
Not a bad plan. I tell you what, Kent Herbeck is the kind of guy, and Andy, you were there that night. It was very nice. The Twins honored me with a Tom Bernard night last summer. It was really sweet. Kent Herbeck showed up at the beginning, during the game, after the game, shaking hands, signing autograph. I mean, he busted his ass for my night. He's just that kind of guy. He's a great guy.
That's phenomenal.
Really
That's-
nice
yeah.
man.
You know, he did a thing. Who did this? For my son Judd's 40th birthday, my other two kids arranged with Ken Herbeck. I think there's a deal where you can have celebrities put together a video,
Cameo, they call him.
a
Yep.
cameo.
Oh, the cameo. Yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
So they got Ken Herbeck
To do a cameo for
to
That's
do
cool.
a cameo for Judd,
That's awesome.
which was just tremendous.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's exciting. That stuff is really, really good. You know, you got the Tim Laudners of the world. Gary Gaetti's a great guy. Roy Smalley's good. Those guys on that team were really good people,
Yep.
except for Bernansky and Dan Gladden. But other than that,
No, that's when I worked down there by Lake Minnetonka, I'd run into Laudner every once in a while.
oh, you did.
Just
Great
a
guy.
phenomenal guy.
He's a very nice
Just-
guy.
Shoot the breeze. He'd walk up to you. You know, I always would take my breaks at Holiday and kind of stand in the corner.
Mhm.
And he walked right up to me. "How you doing?" Blah, 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 blah. You know, saw him at a baseball game. My wife got tickets. We were sitting in pretty decent seats, not the bleachers for once. And he came right down and said hello, because he had, you know, I know Tim Herron pretty well.
Timmy's a great
So
guy.
it's
He's a
like-
good friend.
Yep, it was
How about Alyssa? You ever run into Alyssa?
Alyssa all the time.
You ever have to pull her over? I like that part.
Yeah, I never pulled Alyssa over. I pulled her husband over once. But
I've told the story many times before, but I went to walk the course at a PGA event with Timmy Herron down in Florida. And I get there and I pull up and I have to have a badge around my neck in order to walk on the
Mhm.
golf course with Tim Herron. So they give me this package, a little envelope. And I take the thing out and I hang it around my neck and all the rest of it. And I go up to walk in the gate. The guy goes, "What's that supposed to be?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "That's supposed to be you in that picture." I said, "Turn around." She put her own picture on
Yep.
it instead of mine. It's like, oh, okay. That's real helpful. The entire way around, the entire 18 holes. "Timmy Herron, it's great you brought your dad to the game." Like, oh, God. Yeah, thanks. No, Tim Herron's a great guy. That whole family,
Yep.
really, really good people.
Wonderful.
They
I
are.
went to there was the only graduation I stopped at while I was ever on the job was their son Carson's, and I was down in that area and ran into the people are like, they still talk about you coming to Carson's graduation.
No,
party.
there you
So,
go. I mean, they're just really good
yep,
people. no
so
question.
phenomenal.
But I'm still pissed off at Tim Laudner. Number 9, Golden Valley, 365 yards. I hit a drive. I'm about 125 out. He hits a 1-iron about 20 yards from the green. I hate you, Tim Laudner. That's all I have to say. Hell of an athlete. Just a hell of an athlete.
Yep.
No
He looks
question
good
about
since
it.
he dropped.
He looks
Right.
really good. I was watching
Yeah.
his show the other night. He's
Yeah.
really nice.
He looks really
You ever
good.
seen his girlfriend?
Yeah.
A lot of us outpunted our coverage. Let me put it that.